All right. Thank you, CJ, so much for coming on to CEO Chats. I'm so excited. For those of you who don't know, CJ is my CPA. He's a certified CPA accountant. He's definitely helped my business correct and get my taxes right. And he also works with a lot of other entrepreneurs and business owners who are making 7 figures, 6 figures in between. And he has a lot of insight, not just for me, but for the listeners of how to get there. And me and CJ actually know each other through a mutual friend. He is cousins with my friend Keon Rankin, so I went to high school with. And I had a personal friend recommend CJ to me. And that was like an amazing experience because he helped me correct a lot of things. So, hey, CJ, what's up?
What's up? Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be in the platform.
Of course, of course. Yeah, so, dude, like I didn't even know, like, because we knew each other for a couple of years. So I
Right,
didn't even
right.
know that, like, honestly, that you were a CPA and you specialized in business. Can you like
hmm
expand a little bit about what you do?
So I work specifically in like tax and accounting, a little bit of finance stuff. I've probably been in the business maybe like 8 years now. And this is pretty much what I always wanted to do. I wanted to learn about money, and then people would pay me to teach them about money. And I feel like, it comes naturally. It's something I'm passionate about, and it pays the bills. So I enjoy, like, kind of like what your platform sort of stands for, just empowering our people and trying to get the information out and helping people to be able to live more free and stress-free lives as it relates to finances, at least, because we got a bunch of other stuff to deal with away from just being able to pay our bills and do the things we like to do.
Awesome, awesome. And so, like, I know we had the pandemic this past year, so it was like a really tough and interesting year for everybody. And my business, even though we've been making 6 figures these past 2 years, what we're trying to do is go from 6 to 7. And so
Right.
I've actually tried to experiment with a couple other businesses. I've tried Turo, got my car messed up. I don't know if did you see my story?
No, I didn't know that. What? What?
Oh, yes. So you know the app Turo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you rent out like so I read this thing where people are renting out like vehicles and making six
Right.
figures. I was like, ooh, maybe I can add another 6 figures. I can buy a couple cars to
Right.
generate a whole other business. And basically, I didn't know how to use the app or anything like that. So I was like, let me start with my car and see how the app goes. And my second
Right.
ride, this girl put a dent in my car.
Oh
And
shit.
I was like, oh no, you know what I mean? But either way, I made like 200 a month off of it. Like I only did it for two
Okay.
months, but it was like,
Okay.
bringing in a little revenue with my Prius Prime. But
Right.
I'm gonna stop doing that. But my whole thing is multiple streams of income. Like that's kind of what I thought millionaires kind of or like that's like what they do. Like I'm a contractor, I'm a realtor, and I'm trying to
Right.
create multiple streams of income for myself. So I
Right.
wanted to hop on here and ask you, like, what do you think really gets people from that 6 to 7 figures?
Um. Well, I mean, I think you're definitely on the right track. I think the biggest commonality is they find a field or a type of career and they master it. And I think there's a difference to me between attaining, let's say, a 6 or 7 figure business and then sustaining that sort of lifestyle. And I think the first step would be to master, like you're in real estate. I would master all things real estate. So I would attack it like you're doing in contracting and real development and as an agent, as a broker. Congrats on that process, by the way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would master that, and then you just scale that. You scale that to a sustainable level, and to a level that you're not growing too fast, but it's not stifling your growth at all. And then I would focus on finding different avenues to sort of diversify your income. So then I would try maybe a Toro or the stock market or investing other companies or start other companies. But first, you got to get to a point where you're successful in the thing that you know. Like with me, for example, like I know business, I know accounting, I know tax. Like that's my world. So I'm trying to master that. So I'm at a level where I'm the go-to guy for that. and then you branch out to other things. You know what I mean? Real estate or whatever it is, the stock market or what have you. So like you want to be the person like, yo, if I need to buy a house, sell a house, flip a house, renovate a house, I need to call Nicole. Like that's who I need to call. There's no she's the one-stop shop. And if she can't do it, then she'll get it done. You know what I mean? And I've seen people like I have clients that are I use this example all the time. I have a few clients that are 7-figure landscapers. Like they have landscaping companies, and they, you know, in the wintertime they plow your driveway, or they plow the business of your the driveway of your business. Summertime they come and cut your grass. And when you look at their revenue, it's like they're doing $2 million a year, $3 million a year with, you know, 10 employees. And you bring, you know, they're bringing home 500, 600, 700 grand, and that you don't see them on the truck. Maybe, you know, maybe once a week, once a month, I might see them, but like, that's what you do. I mean, it's any business. You have to master it and then scale it. And it has to be a business of need. Like real estate is a business of need. You know what I mean? Transportation.
My problem I'm having right now is with scaling is workers. So I don't know if anybody else is having this problem, but like we started our construction company and we got booked, you know, we got booked with 6 jobs. So we're doing well, but we only have like one guy that does it. And like, I want to hire like 5, 6 guys, like, you know, that landscaping company has, because I have no problem getting jobs, but it's like getting that skilled labor to commit to you. And then right now, while everybody's on unemployment, everybody's doing their own thing. You know what I mean? So it's like this weird thing happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, me and you discussed that, and like you said, it's a labor shortage right now with all businesses. Like if you go anywhere, you know, I've been all over the country recently, and it's like if you go anywhere, like there's up and down the East Coast, there's like now hiring, looking for smiling faces. Do you want a job? Come in. Like they're begging people to get jobs because people aren't really in a rush right now. But come September, I think that's going to change. So like as the fall comes and like the unemployment runs out and the job market begins to stabilize and COVID is sort of beginning to come in the rearview mirror, I think you'll have an opportunity to snatch up some workers. But your industry is a little different because you really need skilled labor. Like you can't just hire anybody. Like, you know, you can't hire anybody to come flip burgers like a McDonald's. Like you need someone that's good, reliable, reasonable. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to really put in the effort to hire a good team. But once you do that, like you should be rolling.
It's a wrap. Yeah. And once I do that, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Like, especially as we discussed, like once like the real estate market begins to open and, you know, sheriff sales and foreclosures and things like that begin to come around, there's going to be time. It's going to be time to really make some moves in your business and scale it. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just being able to master something. Like you decided to focus on real estate, it affords you the lifestyle you want, and you can see the scalability of it. You just have to master that. And then
what does scaling mean for those people? Like I understand you, but for anyone watching, to scale a business, what does that mean?
Right. So all right. So for example, in a real estate business, let's say you try to, you know, your goal to start is to flip 2 houses a year. If I can flip 2 houses a year and I can make, you know, 30 grand in profit, then that's a good year for you. Well, then maybe in year 3, you should say, hey, I need to flip 6 houses a year and I want to make 100 grand in profit. So how do I get from point A to point B? Well, that's what we call scaling. You have to figure out a way to grow your business to whatever your expected point is without burdening yourself. So the number one reason that small businesses fail is that they try to grow too quickly. And the second reason is capital. So it's important that as you're growing your business, you need to reinvest your capital. Far too much, like our people and small entrepreneurs, they begin to see some revenue, and then they start buying the new car and, you know, buying the house and, or, you know, renting the house and vacationing and stuff like that. But a lot of times you have to put your head down and reinvest, and then be able to get your business to a level where it's able to sustain if you pull out cash. You know what I mean? So if you're making 10 grand a month and you know your business needs 5 grand a month to survive, then maybe you should wait till you get 30, 40 grand to be able to start paying yourself. But we have to know that. Like we have to budget for that. And that's something that you have to plan for moving forward, because people think, because like you said, if you can get 6 jobs in a, if you can get 6 jobs in a month, we have to budget. Well, what happens in the winter when I can only get 3 jobs, but I have 6 employees and I have my own bills to pay. You know what I mean? So if you're like, well, fuck it, I'll hire 10 people because I got 6 jobs now. Well, you're gonna have to pay 10 people when you only got 2 jobs. And where's that money gonna come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the scalability factor. Like, you have to be able to get to a point where, like, regardless, we can handle this staff level. And these are the amount of resources we need each month, or revenue each month, to be able to sustain ourselves, to be able to have our business be okay. And I would say, like, I mean, for a small business, I would operate in like a 3-month period, like, because 3 months can, as we see, 3 months can change the world. Like, the world could change. So I would say, like, hey, I'm starting January, the end of March, April, and this is how large businesses do it as well. But the end of March, April, I need to check in with my, my partners, check in with your business advisor or whatever, and just figure out where my business is. Did we make money these past 3 months? Did we spend too much? Did we grow? What's the revenue? And what's, if we extrapolate that and push that out to 12 months, what does that look like? So if you made, 50 grand in 3 months, you're like, all right, well, I made 50 grand. If you multiply that by 4, I'll make 200 grand, right? Well, it's like, all right, well, are you going to do that much business in December and November as you're doing in January and February? Mm-hmm. Are the summers your big months where you're going to do 1.5 times that, and maybe in the winter you'll do 75% of that? Like, you have to be able to anticipate that, and that's part of growth and part of scaling, because you can be here today and doing good, and then tomorrow it's gone, and you're like, what the hell happened? Right. Well, you didn't anticipate the future, or you thought your business was going to turn into, the Trump organization, and you're going to have $1 billion, deals or $1 billion developments, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, are there services that you offer? Like, I know we were talking about it before with the business, like there's monthly services that you might be offering to, like, account for like spending, or to account for like projections and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I think you did it right as well. And you were trying to do the right things before you and I began to do business together. But I think it's important to align yourself with the proper professionals and just consult with them. So for me, I would say, like, if someone needs help with their finances, then like I said, every 3 months I can put together a full financial reporting package to show you where you are in your position in your business for those 3 months. But that's something that we can set up, and you can kind of roll yourself, and then kind of check in with a business advisor or a CPA or something like that, and say, hey, am I doing this right? Like, does this look right for the past 3 months? Are all my expenses categorized correctly? Are my ratios good? Like, does my balance sheet look healthy? Like, those are things that business professionals would be able to help with, and also come up with a plan moving forward. Because if you are working with someone, then they'll understand your business and your goals. Right. You know what I mean? Because if you, not necessarily, I don't see this necessarily with businesses, because most businesses have, a CPA or someone that they consult with. But like, on an individual side, people think like getting your taxes done, in March or April is it, and then you don't have to speak to that person until next March or April. And it's like, no, this is, especially when you work for yourself like you, and you know this better than most, like, this is a yearly process. Like, that tax number, when it hits you, like, it hurts. So you have to, like, you have to be planning for that shit the entire year, and be like, hey man, like, how much should I be putting away? Or like, what do you think my taxes are going to be next year if I make this much or this much? Like, that's not a conversation that you just have once a year. That's something that you're working with someone throughout the year to understand. So it's not like a shock when you're like, hey, I need you to pay 5-6 figures in taxes. And you're like, what? Like,
some people don't want to talk to the accountant, because whenever they have to talk to the accountant, they have to pay money. But in reality, what you're saying is, like, you can plan with the accountant to scale. You can see where you're at financially. You know what I mean? And like, I try to stay within my area of genius. You know what I mean? Right. So I might not be a numbers person. And so to have someone else on my team that's like, no, you might need to hit these numbers if you're trying to hit this goal, is like super important.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's important that as you grow as a community, like whether it be like a small business community or a minority community or just a community of like-minded individuals, like you need to rely and surround yourself with professionals that are going to help you grow. So if you need an accountant on your team, you need a lawyer on your team, you need a physician or a personal trainer, whatever it is, a real estate expert. Like you need these people if you want to grow, because these are all areas of expertise that you're going to encounter one way or another if you as you become successful. You can't become successful and don't think taxes or your finances are going to be are not going to be an important part of your growth. Same thing with your body, or everyone has to live somewhere. So same thing with real estate, or same thing with car, your transportation or whatever, unless you live in a major city where that's not a factor. But certain things that in life, if you're preaching growth and success, it's like I'm going to need these people. Like I don't want to pay a lawyer $600 an hour for something, but guess what? You get into a car accident, or you need to sue someone, or you need to defend yourself. You're going to be crying for the best lawyer you can find. So don't wait until you need them to find them. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I like that. I like always have someone on your team and have a good team. And I
Yeah.
like the fact that we've known each other for years, because I feel like I have someone in my team that I can trust. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I feel like you gave me like a good price because you invested in like my potential growth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I saw what that number was supposed to be.
I went back to my partners and I was like, they looked at me like, this is as much time we got in this. And I was like, look, man, that's my homie. Like we gotta get her on the right track, and then moving forward, she'll be good, and
Right.
she'll be good for us. You know what I mean? Because you're always out there networking. You're always trying to recruit like-minded people. And another thing I wanted to mention is, like, even with me and you, like, it was organic. Like the way we started working together was organic, because like you said, we've known each other for years, and not once was I like, hey man, I'm an accountant, like, come do business with me. Like that's not how you do business. Like you let someone, understand you, and you kind of get to know them as a person and what they represent. And then maybe business ventures align that way, or a business relationship happens that way. But sometimes it doesn't. But I don't like to push my profession or my company on people, because I'm not a sales guy. Like I'm passionate about what I do. I like to help my people and my friends, and that's it. Like if we never did business, you can hit me up and be like, hey, let's go out, and we'll be out. You know what I mean? Like that's not the way to build healthy business relationships to me.
Yeah, I mean, I love everything that you're saying. So basically what you said to me, and I want people to know this, is because this isn't just a mentor session for them, this is a mentor session for me, and I'm allowing other people to see it. Like I'm a business who's trying to get from 6 to 7 figures. And I just told you guys about like the Turo information, and you were like, just focus on real estate. You know what I mean? Millionaires focus on their expertise. Like that's what I heard from you. And then what I also heard from you was like having the right team of people beside you. Don't wait till you need an accountant or a lawyer or a real estate person to get one. Make sure you have those vetted people on, like, there early on. So whether it's making a list of like all the people you need in your corner when you are a 7-figure business, who do you need? Where are they? Why you don't want to start searching for them when you need them. So that's what I heard. That's super intelligent. And then what also I heard was that for multiple streams of income is just like, scaling your business, but being smart about your numbers and being realistic about where you are. And then so for me, for example, like COVID hit our business pretty hard because they stopped foreclosures, right? Because they had to allow people to stay in their homes, but they're opening them back up on the 16th of this month. And then the real estate market has just exploded because people weren't moving out of their houses and like prices are high. But regardless, like you said, everything's getting back into normal. And then so while things were paused, like what I did for my business is I grew more in my expertise with the brokerage, like with getting my broker's license, right? I built up my website. We were working on the accounting stuff for a while, like for a couple of weeks. Like that was stressful because it's obviously tax season just passed. And so I just kind of like hunkered down with the stuff that I had, and I was living cheaply enough to where like I could sustain myself for like a couple of years, ups or downs or whatever, because I knew that my business is risky. And then I also started a construction business. So like as I'm moving forward, trying to get to that 7 figures, this entire conversation has reaffirmed like, gain like gain, what was I gonna say? Gain like expertise in your market, like become
Right.
an expert with what you're doing and
Right.
scale that. You know what I mean? Before jumping into something else and trying to scale that, and you haven't even perfected like what you got going. And like
Right.
for me, like I want my flipping to become passive. I want my construction business to become passive. Like I want to grow it so much to where I have like people managing everything so I can jump onto other things. But because everything had slowed down, I had more time to kind of dip and dabble into like stocks and other things like that. But I just want to say thank you for coming on, because you definitely like reaffirmed the things that I definitely needed to hear. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's my pleasure. And just to reiterate that, like, you've been doing the steps that I would recommend. Like you're staying in the real estate field. You're just expanding your reach within that. And I think that's important because, like I said, when someone wants anything to do with real estate, you should be their first call. And most times you should be their only call. You know what I mean? Like even when I saw something that I wanted to jump on, I called you like, hey, what do you think about this? I didn't say, hey man, I see real estate professionals all the time and their financials. I could do this shit myself. I was like, nah, I'm gonna call someone who's done this and who would be able to, who is more experienced in this field and get your opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if it was meant to be, then we would have did that together. And I would have felt comfort in knowing that I went to the person that I know can get the job done because you do this. You know what I mean? Like you want like K&R, if that sign is on the front of a house, like the TV shows, like you want people to know that's a quality flip, that's a quality remodel, that's a like, you know, if that person's selling your house, that's just going to get sold for top dollar. Like you need to be, and then the other side is recruiting, right? Like as a business owner, it's not just about selling, especially in your case, because you don't, you know, you want to live passively. That's your end game. So you need to be able to recruit talent as well, who are going to represent your brand almost the way that you would represent your brand. You know what I mean? Right. Because you can deliver a good product if you and your partners are standing over the workers, but you want to be able to deliver a product that's representative of what you would want, whether you're in the room or not.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I mean? So you got to be able to say, all right, this is my company and this is what we expect from our product and from our people. And if you're aligned with that, then we can make money together. But you have to make that attractive. You have to make that attractive too.
Exactly. And I had so much fun talking to you, and I hope we can hop on again once I get to that 7 figures, and then we can talk about it again. Because I'm gonna get there.
Oh yeah, I think you're gonna get there, and you know we'll be there together. We're both making the right moves to, you know, to get where we need to go.
All right, thanks, CJ. I appreciate
it. All right,
of course.
Take care.